This setup was way faster than the last time. I know I only did this one time solo, but now I've been doing this with TB1, aka Adam Greenberg, co-founder of One Bone Clothing, and I work here, and I've been doing this with him now, so it's a lot faster to do the whole setup. Got my fake plant over here, you know what I mean? Picked it up at Home Sense. If you're ever looking for fake plants, got a nice love seat right here. Love not included. Love is not included. Got the backdrop. It's gray now. Charcoal, you know. Give it a nice dramatic look. And got some 3-point lighting going on. Only two are on. And we're back. Imaginary Friends podcast. It's your boy AP Johnson, man. Listen, man, I haven't done this in a minute. I know I'm inconsistent with these episodes, but I'm back, you know. And I'll be honest with y'all. I think I say this every time I do an episode. I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm back, and fuck all that. So I want to give you guys an update on what's new with me. So I think if I swear in the first part of this, I get demonetized. So oops, it's all good though. All right, so hopefully this is recording this time. I know last time I did this, the camera stopped recording, this stopped recording. You know what? You get what you get, okay? I'm not splicing anything together. I'm not repeating any jokes. Speaking of jokes, back to the update. What's new with your boy AP? Okay, all right. Obviously still at One Bone, you know what I mean? Enjoying my time here as a content creator / photographer / videographer / jack of all trades. Hi-yo! Doing it all, you know what I mean? / model. Hi-yo! Yeah, so what's new with me? Big announcement. Big announcement. Oh, shit. Breaking news. I need sound effects. I can't just be doing that shit just like, you know, out of my mouth, dude. It's like, I'm going to get tired. You know, I got to pace myself talking at 100 miles a minute here because I have ADHD. Talking 100 miles an hour. Why? Because I'm nervous. It's fun to do this. It's fun. Big announcement, though. Your boy is not only an improver now, but is also a stand-up comedian. Drop the bomb. Childhood dream achieved. He said he wouldn't do it, but he did it. Oh, and did he do well? Oh, you know he did well. Yeah. Glory to God, you know what I mean? It was a big moment for me. Yeah, your boy is a stand-up comedian now, or at least I've done stand-up. I don't know how many times you have to do it before you're called a comic. I go by laughs, you know. If you can get like a solid 5 laughs out of your set, you're a comedian, you know what I mean? It's like I did 5 minutes, 8 minutes, or whatever. I did 2 sets, okay? So this person hits me up, and I say person because don't know the pronouns. I say person to not get in trouble. So this person hits me up. I won't say the name. You know, the names of the people involved have been changed for the names and the stories have been changed for dramatic effect and to protect the identity of those involved in the real story. Shout out to Law and Order and all that shit, man. I really mess with those shows. I don't know why I like the... Okay, hey, stay on topic, dude. I'll come back to that. So this person hits me up and they're like, hey, I saw you do improv. You're pretty good. You're pretty good. And I was like, thanks. And glory to God. And the person hits me up and they're like, hey, you're pretty good at improv. Would you like to try stand up? And I said, you know what it felt like? It felt like I was chopping wood in a cabin in the woods. Just. And then It's like, how'd you find me? a car slowly drives up, but I'm ready because I've been waiting. I've been training. He's been training. And the car slowly drives up. Person gets out. I'm there chopping wood. Didn't even turn around. Got a beard. A little beard action. Wife beater action. That's my new thing. And I'm chopping wood. And then they're like, we heard you're good at improv. It's like, I've been known to make up a few scenarios on stage. Would you like to try stand-up? And I said, hold my axe. Yeah, dude. I was like, hold my axe. Plain scene montage. On stage. Hey, what's the deal with? You have to hit the shaving, get the suit and everything. That'd be a great intro to a comedy special where it's just like an action movie. How come they don't do that in comedy specials anymore? I don't know where to look. I don't know if I should look at the camera. I don't know if I should look at this location that I'm in, this fucking corner. Why don't they make comedy specials with a high budget intro? Do they not have the budget? Comedy specials now start with like the person walking on stage. Comedy special. No, man. Dude, I just saw Delirious or Raw, one of those two, for the first time. And in the beginning, he's like a kid and he's in his parents' house and he's like cracking jokes as a kid and they're like crude as hell. And it's like, it zooms in on the kid's face, I'll splice it in. And yeah, it's like that's a comedy intro, a comedy special intro. Like nowadays, they just kind of just get on stage or the lights go on and the person walks out and boom, there's your comedy set. And it's like, is that a budget thing? Because I would shoot it on my phone, man. Like, no, they probably wouldn't let it. The Netflix would be like, hey, so we saw your intro. We like it. We'd like it. But here's the thing. Production value and quality control. And I'm like, hey, I'm an artist, all right? You said we didn't have a budget for the intro. I did it myself. I got it done because I'm a doer. And here you are, criticizing my hard work shot on my iPhone, shot on my Android, Pixel 6. How dare you? Wow, dude. It's been 10 minutes and I feel like I'm fucking all over the place, man. So, yeah. Where was I? Anyways, comedy special intros. They don't really do them special anymore. Like they don't. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't seen them all. Shout out to all the new ones that I'm wrong about. Shout out to you. You're doing your thing. I'm just saying that most comedy specials I watch these days don't have like a cool intro. It doesn't have to be that big. You could be in your dressing room and doing a little skit. I've seen those. I don't know who, but I've seen those. And it's like, cool, Let me get a little acting action in there, It just adds to it for me. So anyways, person hits me up. Biggest segue ever. Person hits me up and they're like, hey, we heard you're good at improv and would you like to do stand-up? And I said, hell yeah, dude. What are you talking about? Obviously, intrusive thoughts were like, hey, you're not ready. Obviously. But then I was reminded that I am ready. I am ready. At the end of the day, it's like the worst I can do is bomb. And I've done that in improv and it's not that bad. It's actually the worst thing in the world. Here's the deal about bombing. You gotta, it's like once it's done, you're like, oh, okay, it's done. I bombed and it didn't go well. And I want to crawl into a ball in fetus position. And re-enter my mother's womb. Censored. PG-13. I want to crawl into a ball and re-enter my mother's womb and never see the light of day again. I'll pay rent in the womb. Paying rent in the womb, dude. Name of the episode. So, yeah. It feels terrible bombing. And the worst thing about improv is once you're bombing, it's like, it feels like, a minute turns into like an hour. It just feels very long. And you're up there and you're like, oh God, how do I get out of this? Like, do I just, like, every bone in my body is like wanting to turn to the audience and be like, hey, I don't want to do the skit anymore. Can we move to the next one, please? I'm so sorry, guys. I messed up. I wasn't paying attention to what my scene partner was saying, and now I'm lost. You can see that, and it's uncomfortable for everyone. So can we just move on? And I wish people would do that more often as opposed to like trying to save a scene, because sometimes it's just not savable. It's not savable. It's like showing up to like 2 days after a car accident. You just can't save they're in the hospital. You can't undo what's been done. You can't undo what's been done. You just gotta move on. And I wish sometimes people would move on these skits. I mean, you could sweep. You know what I mean? You could stop it, whatever. You could do that, but sometimes they don't. And I'm like, oh boy, everyone in the scene. Oh boy, it's not the best feeling. So that's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, bombing sucks. It's not the worst though, because it goes away. Scene ends eventually, and then you come back, you do a new scene, and then it just keeps going, and it's like whatever. Let me brush it off. And you get that brush off, that brush off energy. You get that brush off skill tree bonus. You use like skill tree activated brush off technique. Gain 20 XP, 20 HP back. Like you just get it back. So just brush it off, keep going, and forget that it happened. And then when you get off stage, you can then go back into the fetus, into the womb. So it's not the worst thing in the world. Brush it off. Now stand up. I'm like, well, if I bomb, I just have more jokes. Like, it's up to me to just brush it off the same fashion and do another joke. Like, it's all on me. And to be honest, it's kind of nice when it's all on you and you're not bombing because of anyone else, on stage. You're just bombing because your joke sucks. But hey, at the end of the day, if a joke sucks, it's just not funny, I'm not going up there and being like, hey, fuck you. Yeah. Hey, what's the deal with, hey, fuck you? Just go on stage and just start fucking with the audience for no reason, dude. And that's your set. Hey, this is the guy that goes on stage and fucks with everyone. Oh my God, dude, I can't wait. I hope he fucks with me. Like no crowd work skills whatsoever. You just go on stage and you just fuck with people. So, yeah, bombing is not the worst thing in the world. And it happens, and it sucks because you're like, hey, I worked. The thing about improv is like, oh, of course I'm going to bomb. I didn't prepare for this. This is all made up on the spot. Not only is it me, but I have scene partners, and, we might not mesh well, or we might make a communication, miscommunication, situation happening, and then you just don't understand each other, and then you bomb, and it's like, whatever, brush it off, move on. But in stand-up, it's like, oh, I thought that would be funny. It was funny in my head. It was funny in my head, and then I go on stage, and then I try it, and it's like, all right, not as funny as I thought it would be. So, but what I realized is, and I've done 2 shows. I should say that. I've done 2 shows so far. Like I said, somebody hit me up. They're like, you want to try it? And I was like, yes. I went on, and I tried. I was like, yo, I have a month to prepare, so it's enough time. I have jokes written on my phone from all dating all the way back to pre-pan, you know what I mean? Whatever you want to call it, pre to dem, I have jokes dating all the way back to like, I don't know, other phones, all on my on my phone, and it's like, cool, let me check the Rolodex and see what's funny and see what I can try. So I go through my phone, I'm looking at jokes, came up with some new shit. You know what I mean? It was a Black History Month thing, so I came up with some Black History Month jokes. I was like, all right, cool. I had a few Black History Month jokes in the noggin. I don't know if I should say them here because I don't want to. I might do them again next year. But I definitely had some jokes, about how I don't learn anything new. Every Black History Month is always the same information. And also how I don't care about Black History Month anymore. It's like, okay, it's American. It's an American thing. I'm going to stop acting like I'm also involved in this all the way in. So I'm doing my set. And I had about 11. He said, hey, you got 10 minutes or you got 7 minutes. We got 7 minutes. We think 7 is good for you. And I was like, that seems long. That seems long for a first time, 7 minutes. I take 7 minutes shower. I feel like that's a long time to be just speaking by myself and people listening and me keeping them entertained. But hey, we're 17 minutes deep into this and you're still listening. Let's go, man. Hell yeah. So I'm on stage, I'm doing my thing, and let's backtrack here. Before I get on stage, it's a month. I have a month. I'm writing jokes, Black History Month jokes. I forget what else I had in there, some sex jokes. Because at this point, boy's an open book. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever, dude. I'll talk about whatever. At this point, it's like, let's stop being prudes over here and let's just get into the nitty gritty. So, just went into some sex stuff, some Black History Month stuff. I had other jokes that I have yet to try, but whatever, dude. I had a politics joke, which was shout out to my friend Jonathan, dude. This guy, I'm talking to this guy. We're just talking about Canadian politics, and I'm just like, hey, I don't know about you, man, but like, I don't know shit about Canadian politics, and I'm not ashamed. I should be. I'm not, though. And so I threw that in there as well, and that was like a 3-minute bit on its own. So I was like, yeah, hell yeah, man, let me do that one. And I did. And to be honest, I had about a month, got it prepared, went over it a few times, not in my head, but actually out loud, right in this very location. And I was going through it. I was like, yeah, it's good. Here's the thing about showing your set or jokes to people before you go on stage. It's like, make sure you trust the person. Make sure you trust their sense of humor, because if it's funny to me, I'm like, that's all I need. But sometimes you might tell someone, hey, I'm going to do a stand-up, and they're like, oh, tell me one of the jokes. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Let me, my friend, I'll tell you. And they're like, oh, or then you can say that. And I'm like, hey, it's already good. I'll take the advice, but also sometimes they'll tell you like, hey, or they're like, huh. Just get like a little chuckle. But I'm like, I don't know if this is a chuckle joke or it's going to be a big laugh on stage, because it hits different when you say something on stage, something about the stage. There's power in stage. There's power in stage. So whatever. I went over a few times. I felt prepared, invited a few friends, and was nervous as hell. Who do I think I am? Who do I think I am doing this stand-up bullshit? It's crazy. It's scary. It's like public speaking is like the biggest fear that people have. I don't know if it's still true, because everyone's a public speaker these days. Seems that way. Seems like everyone has a podcast. Seems like everyone is doing something in front of the camera. It seems. But this is not in front of the camera. This is in front of people. And yeah, it was the safest room possible. You know what I mean? Shout out to the LGBTQ plus. Shout out to the BIPOC community. You know what I mean? The safest room possible. So I was like, all right, cool. As long as I don't make any offensive homophobic jokes, which was, hey, no homophobic jokes. I'm like, there goes half my set. Playing. As long as I don't make too much anything offensive, I'm good. So I just, steered the other direction, and it was great. Had a great time. I'm very appreciative for the opportunity. I went on stage. I was nervous as hell at first. I had a drink, kind of got really tipsy, and I was like, whoops. Too late, can't backtrack now. I'm already tipsy, and I'm going up very soon. There's like 4 comics alongside me, and yeah, I had a joke about Kanye. And I'm in the corner. I'm pacing back and forth. They say, hey, this guy's first time doing this. He's an improv guy. Give it up for AP, Akeem Johnson. I gave my real name because my alias AP, I was not owning it in that moment. Why? I don't know. Seems kind of not my thing to be called not my name. It's never happened, but fuck it. You know what I mean? So I guess I'm not that comfortable being called AP. It's like whatever. So people are starting to call me that, and I'm like, cool. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, I'm getting used to it. But at first, it's like, hey, it's a new nickname. It's like in Seinfeld when he's like, call me T-Bone. Maybe we should call you Coco. Coco. That's what it felt like. It's like, well, yeah, don't call me AP, but it's like, whatever, dude. It's just a name, right? So they call me Akeem. I go on stage, grab the mic. And at first I had a joke that was relating to a song, a Kendrick song. I was going to come out. I had the whole thing planned in my head. I'm going to come out to a Kendrick song. I'm going to make a joke about Martin Luther King not really liking his name being mentioned in that, which kind of is funny because now Kendrick doesn't like his name mentioned in a song with J. Cole and Drake, which is, hey, people care more about rap beef than the wars, People care more about rap beefs than Palestine. You know what I mean? It's like, what are we doing here as a society? You know what I mean? People care more about rap beef than Haiti. You know what I mean? It's, man. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like, I don't really, So anyways, I had this whole thing planned out where I'm going to come out to a song by K-Dot. And it's the one where he's like, pray my dick get big as the avatar, but so I was going to come out to that song and then say like, he's like, Martin had a dream. I was going to come out to that and say like, because Black History Month would be like, Kendrick, why'd you mention my name? I was going to do that, which is so ironic. And the guy who organized it, he's like, sorry, I don't have any music. You're not going to get to choose. And I'm like, well, there goes my opener. You know what I mean? There goes my opener, my first opener ever that I ever wrote. And I'm like, I'm going to go there and then there. Don't have it anymore. Let me get a new opener. So I'm an improv guy. I make it up on the spot. I'm looking at the room. I'm like, what can I say that would get them on my side immediately? How can we build a rapport in 10 seconds? So what did I do? The name of the place was Casa de Popolo. Casa de Popolo. That was the name of the place. And I was like, well, I don't know what that means. It sounds cool, though. It sounds cool. Like casa, house of something. I thought house of the chicken, And I'm like, that's funny. So I'm going to go on stage and be like, does anyone know? I was like, Casa de Popolo. Real cool with it, Does anyone know what that means? No one? And I Googled it before going on stage, And it means House of the Bull. And then I went to I was like, hey, what'd you do this weekend? Oh, I went to Casa de Popolo. Yeah? What'd you do? Had some nachos. That shit was so funny to me, you know what I mean? And it's like I laughed after saying it, and it's like Someone told me at this show, it's like, I've never seen someone do a joke that didn't land and just like pat themselves on the back anyway. And I'm like, what didn't land? If it's funny to me, it's landing, all right? If it's funny to me, it's a 747 jet pulling in, all right? If it's me, it's the Olympic athletes, gymnasts. If it's me, if it's funny to me, it's sticking the landing, all right? So, yeah, it was a great time. I had a few jokes here and there, like some worked, some didn't. I was super high energy, just like the beginning of this podcast, and now I'm chilling out a little bit. And, yeah, it was an amazing high. Getting off stage, it was an incredible high. It was like, wow, I did it. I've been a comic. I was a comic for 12 minutes. I was up for like 12 minutes. And it was a great experience. I'm super grateful for the opportunity. Shout out to Zaddy's. And it's on tape, dude. So be sure to go on my Instagram page, my YouTube page, and I'm gonna post these clips. Yeah, shorts, I guess. That's what the kids are doing. And hopefully you like my first set. I mean, how many people get to say their first set is recorded in HD, like red cameras, you know? Like, it was a special thing. It was like a taping. And I'm like, oh, I can retire now. I have it on tape. It's all good. Let me retire now. But no, I actually had another show 3 weeks later. I waited 3 weeks. I wasn't sure when I was going to go back. And shout out to Adam. He was like, yo, you got to get back on stage, man. You can't just like sit on this. And that's what I did. I said, you're right. So I looked up some comedy sets in the city. I went to one last Sunday, and they're closed. I get there, and it's closed. Why? Because of Easter, I guess. And I get there, and I was all ready. I was prepared to have my new set, 5 minutes, and it was closed. And I was like, you know what? But I'm ready. Felt good to be ready. And I found another one the next day. Did my thing again on stage and did a great job. Got some few contacts to do more shows because your boy did it. You know what I mean? I really be doing it on stage, man. I really got something going there. So, yeah, it was a nice feeling. So I'm very grateful for Zaddy's for putting me on to the first one. And I'm just like, I'm excited for the future because I've been doing this podcast thing for like on and off for years. And I've always been like, well, this is something comics do, right? Like, I don't have a podcast if I'm not a comic. I used to tell myself that. Like, I should be a comic if I'm going to do this. And so I always had this, like, imposter syndrome. Like, I shouldn't have a podcast if I'm not a comic, you know? Which is like, whatever, do what you want. But that's how I felt. And so doing it now, it's like, it kind of validates my whole thing. I knew this shit was funny as hell. Some of my jokes that I did on stage were from this. My girl was like, yo, that thing you said on the podcast was hilarious. And I wrote it into a joke, and it's a really good joke. It's a joke about COVID. I'll put it in the clips. So anyways, I'm going to make this one short because I got to go pick up my gal. And we're going out tonight. Night on the town, gal. We're going on a night on the town, gal. Just me and you, guys and dolls. Kicking it night on the town. I'm a gentleman. I'll open the door for ya. Oh, yes, madame. Yeah, so we're going to go night at town and have a good time. I'll be back with more episodes. I guess I can keep them short, maybe 30 minutes. And yeah, shout out to y'all for listening and be on the lookout for clips and all that stuff. And it's your boy AP, Imaginary Friends. Peace.